they get back. Right before Thanksgiving, basically.
With the
right
dogs.
on. Yeah, they get back on like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So it's the cold open. No. Oh, what a terrible, terrible cold open. Let me see if I can save this. Let me see if I can fix this. I'm thinking on the spot. I really can't. We gotta stop having these after work and recording them on Tuesday.
Yeah, hey Daniel, come on. I mean, let's respect not only the hour that we have together, but the hours before that and the hours after. Let's be mindful of people. But hey, you know what? Thanks for having us on, Daniel. For those of you who are unaware, this is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
And someone else, and that last someone else is Daniel Silverstein, who usually introduces himself and the guest, but today it's a little bit different. We're switching things up on today's episode. Because here's the twist. Daniel's on the call, but he's not going to say a single word this entire podcast. Isn't that right, Daniel? Wow. See, that's why this is a transformative podcast, because we really took the formula and we are switching it up in a way that, is really subversive and kind of messes with the audience, and they don't know what they're going to get and we don't know what we're going to give them. So that's really what the Experience Podcast is. And hopefully, we timed it correctly because the intro music has already played, and this is the Experience Podcast.
Well put, Tanner. I mean, with a name like Experience, you can expect that kind of stuff. I have confidence in our audience, who's a pretty attentive, tends to be well-educated audience, pretty committed to the art form of podcasting. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll be engaged and receptive listeners. Work with us as we kind of throw them a curveball here. So, Daniel, what do you think of that? Well put. Tanner, so hanging with the dogs, how has it taught you to be, I guess, they're good company, but being with your own thoughts, how have you managed to deal with that? Because it can be difficult.
Oh, okay, that's a deeper question. So a little bit of glimpse into me and how I operate. I'll deflect that with either a comedic response or with another question or an answer to a question you didn't ask.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the latter. I have just spoiled this dog as soon as the parents have gone. No crates. Like, I just let her kind of roam. Don't put her in a crate at night. We don't lock it. It's just kind of that's where her dog bed is. But I let her sleep on the foot of the bed with me now. Usually what my parents will do is they'll let her onto the bed for just a little bit right before bedtime, just to kind of let her wind down.
Yeah, it's like rations.
Yeah, exactly. Just, hey, you can be on the bed for a little bit while brushing her teeth, taking a shower. And then, once you get into bed, it's time for her to get off. But I've just been no, Coco, stay in bed. I'm not going to kick you off. And tons of treats, doubling her treats. I really, pouring, hooping, what is it? I can't think of the word. This is why we can't have this stuff after work. My brain is just very slow after a long day. Heaping, I'm thinking of the word heaping scoops of dog food.
Nice. Good.
just really just putting on the pounds and, just spoiling her. So there's a answer to a question you didn't ask, but I like doing that. I am more alone now and more alone with my thoughts. Just doing the stuff that my parents would do during the day. They take care of the plants, take Coco on a longer walk. just kind of doing that with her. I've been like, okay, I won't, go to my phone as soon as I feel weird. As soon as I feel weird or have a moment where I'm like alone with my thoughts.
Where you get the yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's like, I think Bo Burnham said something, a quote about it. It's like go into your phone as soon as you feel any sort of weirdness or any sort of, being.
Is that from the COVID sort of?
I go to my phone whenever I feel weird. I just remember being like, yes, that's so true. I relate with that.
Yeah. That's strong. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're really seizing this opportunity to care for your dogs, but yourself as well.
Also, yeah, exactly. Like, even if I'm not, really doing some heavy mental lifting or taking a mental inventory and just kind of checking in on myself, even just not having the phone and going to that, and scrolling on Reddit while I walk the dog or water the plants, it's kind of just, it's nice. I kind of feel a little bit detached, but in a good way. Like a little bit, I don't know. You know what I mean? But not detached, but like.
Yeah. Well, you're not like overly stimulated.
Exactly.
And connected. Yeah, I feel like.
Looking for a dopamine fix.
Like a hit.
Right? Yeah.
Taking a drag. That's what that thing is.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel I'm phone sober. There's the word.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Daniel, how is your how have you decluttered the mind and kind of kept away from technology while Tanner's parents have been on vacation? Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really effective way.
He's about to.
Oh my God.
Daniel, you can actually speak in this podcast. That earlier, that was a joke. How are you doing?
Are we ending the bit?
What?
I wasn't sure.
The bit's done.
The bit's done.
Okay, the bit's done. We're on to the next bit. It's hard to tell sometimes, Unwinding. You know what, Alex? I appreciate that question, and like Tanner, I will answer a question you did not ask.
Sure.
Today, I discovered something new.
Do tell.
Well, so, sometimes when you take something good and something else that's good and you combine them, you don't get something that's good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Pizza and ice cream? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was a pizza and ice cream situation. So I got okay, well, I don't mean to overhype my appreciation for these items, but I like pistachios and I like cinnamon, but I got these cinnamon pistachios and they're not working for me.
Oh, wait, whoa! I would have thought that would be a shoo-in. Please.
That would have been. I can't see that flavor working. Just me conceptualizing it right now. I think they're just abrasive flavors, combative.
I think that's the problem. It's too much.
They pull in opposite directions, I think.
Yeah, I'm on Tanner's side here on this one. Yeah, it doesn't work. I thought it would. I was like Alex going in. I was like, oh, this should work. And it's like too much. I still have like most of the bag, so I guess I'll finish it. Like, it's not terrible, but it is just like, it doesn't hit the right way. Also, like this, and maybe this is a good thing, but this is like this is much more of like a cinnamon than like a sugary cinnamon. Does that make sense? It's not like a candy cinnamon. It's like
it's more like the spice kind of.
No, not.
Like
I wouldn't call it spicy.
Candy.
No, I wouldn't call it spicy. It's more just like a low sugar cinnamon.
Like it's kind of like the earthy sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe earthy is the right word. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not hot. I would say it's sweeter, but it's more earthy than like it's not like a candied cinnamon,
Yeah. Huh. Man, I would have thought. I feel. I mean, pistachios are like they're an ice cream flavor, and I know a lot of like South Asian. Like I feel like South Asian cuisine utilizes pistachios in diverse ways, kind of like as a dessert or something, or like as a spread. So I guess I sort of associate it as a sweet thing a little bit. So I'm a little saddened to hear that you had this experience today, Daniel, and that it didn't shake up the way you thought it would.
Yes, it was kind of rough. It was a bit of a disappointment. Again, I'll finish the bag. It's not that much, but it wasn't bad, but it just didn't hit the way that I was hoping it would. And now, I'm almost holding the bag.
Oh, that's good. It's a gateway drug to candied nuts, I guess. Or maybe honestly it's a turnoff. Yeah, you had a bad trip.
You should use the remaining pistachios in the bag to train like an army of like raccoons. Like maybe they'll be like, okay, if you're a raccoon, you eat garbage, so you maybe like fuck with the flavors. I think raccoons would probably like the pistachios just as a base. So I think them being like, okay, this is kind of out of this world. I think it would be an insane treat, and you could like totally create a Pavlovian reward system. And raccoons are pretty smart, so I think you could get a pet raccoon. I think there's just shouting that idea out, but I don't know if that helps.
Well, kind of in that genre, I do have an unofficial pet squirrel.
Yo, really? You should start feeding him pistachios.
Well, we've never really talked. Well, actually, I've talked to the squirrel, but the squirrel hasn't. It's more like outside my window at home when I work from home. There's a gutter that's like right in line, like at the same height as the window, and it always fills up with the leaves and the acorns and stuff from trees that fall into it. And so there's always a squirrel there that's like maybe, I don't know, 4 feet away from me, but on the other side of a window. That's just going to town in that gutter. So we've become pretty close friends.
Yeah, thanks for providing a space for the squirrel, Daniel.
Of course.
Yeah, what kind of does it have a good attitude, or is it kind of just like a busy bee getting done what it needs to get done?
It's definitely a worker squirrel, but it knows how to have fun. You could tell like this squirrel can have fun.
Nice. This squirrel is working for the weekends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's your favorite squirrel's favorite squirrel, Yeah, like that kind of thing.
A squirrel.
Yeah, for real. It's pretty nutty, Daniel. But yeah, I mean, you could, I don't know. You always got to be careful giving animals like, snacks like that, because usually they're processed to hell and like just absolutely annihilate them. But if they're just like nuts and cinnamon, maybe they don't like the cinnamon, but it's worth it to put one out there. Maybe open the window, just plop it down, at 10 a.m. The day's bright, still has, maybe it's not too full from lunch, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of treats in that gutter. That gutter is full. Still is, in the fall, just everything accumulates into it. I don't know how there's so many leaves. Trees,
Well, what else is going on? You seem really excited about that, the discovering these two things that you kind of love, but then being disappointed by it. Is that reflective of anything in your life?
No, it's really it's not a metaphor. That'd be pretty good if it was.
That would be a good metaphor. You're setting something up, but sometimes,
yeah, like you could be like, you could, sorry, I totally interrupted, but Alex, I was about to, you got it, the right idea. You got the right idea. So please continue developing that thought. I need to shut up.
No, Tanner, you always do well. But it's kind of like introducing two groups of friends at a party, and you're kind of nervous about if they'll get along. and maybe in this case they didn't, which is always a shame. It's like you think you're being authentic with both groups of people, and then they meet, and you're like, wait a minute. But you're probably just adjusting the knobs on your personality to fit different friend groups and stuff, and then the knobs that correspond with one friend group, like that average doesn't mesh well with the other. So yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, Daniel. We're gonna read too much into this. We're not gonna just let it be a little story in miniature. So yeah, Tanner.
I'm like trying.
No. Please continue.
No, as he says, I'm trying to connect it to something in my life, and I can't really directly connect it to anything. I wish I could, because again, that would be amazing. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
Sam.
what's the closest thing you can connect it to? Something good that happened in your life recently, perhaps.
Something good that happened in my life recently.
Aside from the Experience podcast today.
Yeah, this was the highlight. What's next? I'm just checking the calendar here. Oh, okay, no. I was a week off. No, I got nothing.
Dang, really?
It's all good in Daniel.
Not even what's a small win from today?
Small win from today.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Next question.
Well, what were you for Halloween?
I didn't wear a costume. I did go to a party, but I didn't wear a costume.
How was that? Who'd you go? Which party you go to?
It was. Man, we're talking about me.
Yeah, genuinely curious. What's going on in your life?
It was with the flag football league that I've talked about before. They had it was a mid-season party that I guess was a Halloween party.
Nice.
Was it on Halloween?
No, it was it the Friday before, maybe Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it was Saturday. Yeah. When probably a lot of people had Halloween parties.
What position do you play? It's flag football league.
Let's see.
You're flex. You're the flex.
I mean, kind of. So, like, on offense, I would consider myself a fringe starter at receiver.
Nice.
That's good. Like, depending on how many people show up for the team, I'm either starting or not starting. I play most of the time this year. But yeah, and then on defense, I play, at first they started me as rushing, but now I guess I've graduated to playing corner.
Oh, the hardest position.
Well, safety is considered the hardest position in this league. That's like, yeah, safety is like, I did play safety for one play this past game, so I got a temporary promotion.
Is safety more important because, you know, you're not really tackling or throwing yourselves at people, so the breakaways are easier, so people get more yards per carry kind of thing? Like, what's the scoop? What's the biggest change between flag football and regular?
What a question. You said a lot of words related to football that didn't go together.
He's totally mansplaining this to
Am I sounding crazy?
Tanner, Daniel's just trying to mansplain. I mean, that's
I feel like I am kind of like delirious, and part of it.
Well, I'm totally mansplaining. You said a lot of correct words, but like not in the right. The order of your words was like had me confused a little.
Okay, part of it is a bit like feverish and a bit sick, so I had some cough syrup. Oh, so I'm like fighting demons right now. It's an interesting podcast.
The party that Tanner threw over the weekend because his parents are gone. But continue, Daniel.
Yeah, we getting the lean, we getting the scissor. So sorry, continue. What's the biggest difference between flag football and football other than, or how does, not being able to tackle, how does that affect the game?
So you wear flags. You wear flags around you wear like a belt with, streamers, I guess. So tackling is just pulling the other person's flags.
So it's technically easier and you just immediately stop people?
Yeah, but I mean, it's harder than you would think to pull flags out when when people are running at like full speed and the flags are waving around.
Yeah, they don't stay still. You kind of like grabbing it.
Yeah, like it's actually, it definitely is a hand-eye coordination thing. It's probably on net easier, but it's not like you just instantly stop sound. So it's less contact. So it's you're not like falling on the ground and beating each other up.
What does the O line look like? Is it just like you're really stopping?
So different leagues have different rules. Like although this league is pretty similar to like what Georgia Tech Intramurals was. Like most of the rules are pretty much the same. So like in this league, you are allowed. So whoever's blocking is allowed to you're allowed to put your hands on the whoever's rushing the quarterback, and you can move. So how do I describe this? Blocking is probably pretty similar, but the defense can't just bull rush into the blocker. So you can't just like put your head down and run straight through. You have to make an effort to go around the blocker as the defender. Gotcha. But you can the blocker can definitely like push the defender. So like, for example, when I was rushing earlier in the season, some of these guys are a little bigger than me, and one guy like just knocked me straight to the ground, which I guess is illegal.
Yeah.
Was he friendly about it, or was it like mean spirited? Or like he's like, stay down, punk.
No, it's not that.
Hey, sorry, I knocked you down.
No, somewhere in between. He wasn't sorry about it. Because it's a fairly competitive league, but he wasn't,
Oh, really?
No, that was technically within the rules.
How competitive is it? Would you say?
I think I mentioned when I first brought it up weeks ago for the new player tryouts.
Oh, geez. Whoa, already
there's tryouts.
Whoa, hold up.
It's not really. So it's called a workshop, but they have everyone like run routes and play and do drills. And I'm not exaggerating. They have clipboards and they had video. They're using their phones to record videos of you and recording scores. Because I guess
that's pretty intense for flag football.
Yes,
that's pretty crazy.
Because I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just do this as a workshop. It was supposed to like go over the rules and whatever. And I was like, all right. But I played before it. But I was like, oh, okay. They're like recording me running this route. They're taking a video of me running. And who knows what they're doing with it later.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, actually, so some other people there's like a what's it called? Like a kickoff party, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Where they announce the teams, because the teams are like all drafted behind closed doors.
Jeez.
But there's like the kickoff party. One guy who was not like a captain, so wasn't drafting teams, said, you were good at the tryouts or whatever. I guess he saw a video of me. So
they are showing people basically.
It gets around.
I know. It got around.
Hey, bro, we really loved you watching those curl routes. Really nice dig in the dirt. I don't know. Continue.
Anyway, yeah. So they had clipboards and they were scoring me. So it is somewhat competitive, but it's also like it's supposed to be a social league as well. So
wow.
I hear those are a great way to make friends. Is like 25 and olders join an athletics club.
And whenever we like start a game and my team will say, or like the captain will say like, okay, you guys know the team. You know that guy's going to do that. That guy's going to do that. And like they know everyone. You know, they know everyone in the league.
Oh.
Like, oh yeah, Jeff's going to be going deep today, and like watch out for Mark, who's going to do this or that. And I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, wow.
I guess
You joined a real club here.
Yeah, they're playing for keeps.
Jeez. It's like the fantasy leagues where you keep your players over the span of several years, so you're like more invested.
Well, see, like in this league, they redraft every year, so it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
But I guess since they redraft every year, you get to know different people each
that's
season. Like some of these people have been doing it. I think this league's been around for a few decades, and so some of them have been doing it because there's some older people in the league.
Jeez.
The average age is probably still like
30 or something.
Yeah, maybe 30. But there's definitely people that are, well over 50 in the league.
That's pretty cool. Interesting, I guess, yeah. Wow, geez, you said tryouts and I was already like, whoa.
Yeah, that's
I think technically if everyone makes the league.
Okay, they just
I don't think.
Do they? Maybe it's a thing where they try and make them balanced. Like, hey, this guy's a little rough, so let's not.
Yeah. That's why they do that. That's why they do like a draft.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
To balance it out.
Gotcha.
Because but although obviously there's uncertainty in that and whatever, but
yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, cool. They say it's for balancing.
Yeah, so, that makes sense.
No matter how good or bad you are during the quote unquote tryouts, you'll still make a team. In fact, if you want to be on a better team, you have incentive to be bad during the tryouts.
Yes, you can be one of the
low draft stocks. Go to a good team.
Yeah. But then you may not play as much if you're on a team with better players. So there's different incentives at play there. Right?
It's all about. Daniel, are you trying to win, which is what I imagine you're there for? Or are you trying to meet people, which is definitely second? Knowing you're a competitive fiend, I'd say.
No, it's definitely both. They needed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like I think like the sign-ups was like right when I looked this up, so I was like, okay, I'll just do this.
Yeah.
No, but I like winning would obviously also be good. The problem is a lot of the so this is in DC and I don't live in DC. So
what's the
how long of a drive? Yeah.
Well, okay. That's a little complicated. So where we play, the fields are actually right inside the border of DC. So that's like a 35-minute drive for me to get to the fields. But then they usually like to hang out at bars in downtown DC.
Go to Georgetown or whatever.
No, but sure.
Okay. Sure. Okay. I tried to flex some knowledge and never mind. Just we can edit that out.
I'm trying to think of where Georgetown actually is. I know where George Washington is.
Georgetown's like west.
Is it west? I thought George Washington's kind of west.
Maybe
that's where the Georgetown University is, right?
It's referred to as just George. So that whole area is just kind of George.
Yes, the George area. Well, anyway, so my options are either drive from the field and don't go back and shower, which is already a risky proposition there, to the bar area, but that's like a 25-minute drive from those fields, and then I got to drive from the bar area to back to my apartment. That's like a 45-minute drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's one option. The other option is to drive back home from the fields and then take the train in, which is about a 45-minute train ride in.
Gotcha.
So either way, there's not I'm either driving around DC, which is not fun, or I'm going all the way back and then taking the train all the way back, and so when they go out after games, I'm just like it's like a lot. But for example, the party that I went to, whatever it was, that was just a one-off. I wasn't playing that day, so I could just I don't mind taking the train in, and doing whatever, and then going back. It's more just like the back and forth that I try to avoid. Because then it's like I spend my whole day commuting.
Yeah, it's a drag.
And these are
the games? Okay, yeah, I was about to say.
So the games are usually Sunday mornings. Well, Sunday morning / early afternoon, depending. There's 3 different time slots. But then they'll usually, like, the last games will finish up around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then they usually like to go to the bars at like 5 on Sunday evening.
Oh, gotcha. That's not super late, but then also it's like a Sunday. I don't know.
And yeah, but there's also a big gap, so I'm guessing people go in the shower and then hang out after.
Yeah, but a lot of these people
like live or closer, so it's inconvenient for him. Yeah.
So they take like a 10-minute Uber or whatever, and then they walk to the bar.
Yeah, that's way better.
Whereas, my situation is a little more. But again, I go to like the kickoff party, which was a one-off, and then the mid-season party. So like those are not too bad. Like I go into the city enough now. I don't hate. Apparently, people don't like the DC metro system, but I think it's fine.
I mean, if you compare it to Atlanta, I think it's probably much better.
I don't know. I think Atlanta is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, I have. Well, maybe I just think highly of metro of train systems. But Atlanta does have limited routes, like how they don't have the diagonals by now.
Yeah, well, it's because of Cobb County, but
I know, but like in general, yeah. But it's the MARTA is very reliable.
Yeah, it usually gets there on time. Basically, always.
Yeah, like you can always get it. How late does the MARTA go?
Honestly, I feel like
depends.
Not very. I'd say like, because I'll fly into Atlanta, and I think the latest that it leaves from the airport to go north is like 8:20, which is not like that late. I usually get in just late enough if I catch like an early enough flight to barely miss the MARTA, which is kind of a hassle for anyone who's picking me up since I live north of the city. So it does not run super late. Probably on the weekends it's a little later, but yeah.
Runs till like 10 usually on the weekdays, but like till 12 on the weekends. Yeah. But like you said, the last stop for the red line or whatever, on weekdays when it leaves the airport is probably like 8:20. So it gets to North Springs at like 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's not going to go back. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, that's a commute thing. But that's I mean, you're an athlete. You're participating in something that's got a tryout situation. I mean,
that's cool. That's good.
You still not too cool to talk to us then?
I don't know.
Now that you're a jock.
Yeah, you don't really want to hang out customers.
I get injured so much doing this. Like,
really? What?
Like I legitimately sprained my finger. It's still like it's it got swollen like probably twice the size. This is a few weeks ago, and it's still like not full range of motion.
Yikes!
And then my thumb, I think a much milder sprain a couple days ago. This past game, much milder, but definitely like gripping things.
Ouch!
It's not easy. So, and then I usually get cuts on my legs.
Yeah. And so the league doesn't have like a horse trank or anything to like get you guys back in the game when something like that happens.
Well, you know what? So, I fell on my hand and I cut my hand. This is a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, do you guys have like a first aid kit? I just want to wipe my hand off so I'm not bleeding all over the ball,
Yeah, it's nice.
And they're like, okay, we have first aid kit over there. And they pointed to like the sideline. And I'm like, okay, great. There's a huge box. And I go over there and it's like moldy bandages and dried out everything. It's just like, clearly this is a first aid kit that was bought in like 1985 and hasn't been touched since then. So I'm like, none of this is useful. I needed like an alcohol wipe and or a Band-Aid or something. So yeah, they claim to have supplies though, like it's more of a bring your own situation. Actually, that reminds me, I should just bring stuff next time because I always like cut myself. Like I got my knee, and like also my knees are. I don't think it's arthritis. That's not a thing. That's I can't have that yet, right?
I feel like that's a later onset thing.
Right, but like my knees are just like they are not doing well.
Yeah. And man, the knees are the worst. It's like you really got to protect them. I don't know. Do you stretch enough? Like,
I do stretch before the games, and my dad made fun of me when I said that. I'm like, no, I like.
Whoa. You should be doing that. Yeah, yeah.
I will. Yeah, even when I do stretch, I still like wreck my hamstrings, and
Sheesh.
sometimes it's hard to tell though whether my muscles are sore from like a inadequate stretching or just like because I fell on my quad and there's a bruise.
Yeah. Oof.
Like a light
yeah.
bruise that. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I'm also very clumsy, so naturally I hurt myself more often than the average person. So like doing any sort of sporting event will amplify that.
It just makes you think about how we're getting older and the strain we put on our bodies. And you can't bounce back as easy anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I am. How old am I? I'm
27.
Yeah, I'm almost 28. So
yeah, like, dang, we're not getting any younger.
That's true.
And I don't know. I'm already starting to feel it. That's bad. If I'm already starting to feel not lower back pain, but like I can feel myself getting shorter. I think because I hunch over my computer, which is pretty bad. But
yeah, I catch myself a lot and just like not sitting.
My posture isn't great. Yeah, like I feel like I'm absolutely just destroying my body by working and sitting down in an office chair. I hate that feeling.
Well, Daniel, I think you're staving it off by being active, so that's good.
yeah, or I'm accelerating. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, cardio is the big thing. Doing that.
Well, speaking of football, I think we buried a huge lead. Like Georgia Tech upset Miami. Hello. That was crazy, huh?
That was pretty nice, and we beat them too. It wasn't like last year where we had the kind of fluky,
like miracle. No, this one was like deserved. The whole team stepping up on both sides of the ball. It's a team win, and for homecoming too versus a fraudulent Miami.
Good stuff.
That's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that to get bowl eligibility. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's sweet. That's the kind of stuff that makes football good.
That's right. You know? Tanner, were you on campus at all for any of the festivities, or just kind of?
I wish I was.
Wait, you're locked in with the dogs.
I went up to Scott's cabin.
Oh, that's nice.
It was the only weekend we could. He was dog sitting too, so our dogs got along actually, nice. And we hung out, watched it. A couple other the high school UGA friend group. We played the Dune board game, and I finally won this time.
Let's go.
So we were playing the Dune board game and watching the football game. And I was doing intense mentat calculations in my head. And, I paid out, and I was watching Georgia Tech win at the same time, and then I won at the game. It took this time. It didn't take 7 hours to play because we were experienced. It only took 4 hours.
Sheesh.
4.5 hours. Yeah, but it was good, and I won. So that felt good. Georgia Tech won. That also felt good. Being in the cabin, being in just kind of a new space, instead of the same old, being in my house cooped up, that was also a win. So it's kind of a W of a weekend.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, do you take all those when you come back? Do you take all those W's in on one trip, or you kind of split it up?
Yeah, well, I take the W's with a lot of grace and humility. That's what I often have to, just remind myself to be like present in the moment. Got to keep an earthly tether, lest I float off into space. You know what I mean? So it's all about being graceful and giving back to God Almighty. And yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, perfectly, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for UGA. That feels bad to be excited for the UGA game, but like if they get humiliated by Tennessee, there's a chance that they're like,
they're gonna.
I'm gonna give up and just
Yeah.
give up when we play Georgia Tech because the season's over. We're not going to the SEC championship. We're not going to the playoffs. Grr.
Or they
or they pulverize
wring our neck like a chicken. They could go the other way.
That could go the other way too, because Kirby could be like, "Hey, at the end of the day, we still got to care about Georgia Tech. It's still a rivalry. We still got to show that we care, even though we're not going, to our favorite to the SEC conference game like we usually do. We still got to try and pulverize Tech. So that could go that way, or they're really practicing right now to turn on the Death Star for this weekend home game versus Tennessee, and they're practicing and they're kind of not worried about Georgia Tech, right? Because they're so worried about beating Tennessee and remaining conference championship eligible, I guess, right? Because they still have a path to the CFP. So like they can just focus on that, I guess, and overlook Georgia Tech, and because they didn't practice for Georgia Tech, even though they might have a player advantage, we can maybe beat them on, I don't know.
Heart and spirit.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And wouldn't that be sweet? Wouldn't that be sweet?
Man, and I'm going to that game, so I would love to see a dub, but I'm not banking on it.
I'm not hopeful. But hey, if it's, if the margin's within 3 points, that's a win. If the game's closer than last year, that's a win. Like last year was pretty close until like the last 3 minutes of the first half.
We only lost by like 8 or something. Yeah. It wasn't even like huge. Yeah, that was like the turning the corner moment for me when I'm like, we're not complete doormats anymore.
Yeah. Which is kind of insane. I think we have, I'm not going to say his name lest we give him power, but like,
yeah, exactly.
Not Stockholm Syndrome, but like, oh my God, we can be a decent team. Like, we can play with some chutzpah, like.
Yeah, it's unfamiliar, so it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, anyways, Daniel, what do you think of the whole situation? Are we going to the ACC championship?
I think we're just eliminated.
No, there's a chance. There's a path to victory.
Are we not?
No, there's like a weird case.
Weird like tie thing. Yeah.
Where Clemson has to go to the conference championship. And they have to win out. But we beat Clemson in the conference championship. Basically. So SMU and Miami have to lose out, basically.
Yeah, I see now. Yeah. And Louisville.
So those three
and
teams
Pittsburgh.
have to. Yes, and Pittsburgh. Those four teams have to basically. Really? Duke would go in.
And Syracuse and Virginia. Like, all these teams have 3 losses or less.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Wake Forest, UNC, Boston College, Virginia Tech.
We need a lot of things to go our way. Let me look at GT odds to make CFP. Okay. Odds for Georgia to make the college football playoffs is 83.3%.
No, I don't.
But what about Georgia?
I don't even know that you can get odds for that because
they're
probably 4 losses.
Probably 4 million to 1. I don't even know if it's possible.
I would take that bet.
If they actually do beat, if Georgia Tech actually does win out with 12 spots.
To check. odds to make the ACC championship. Ready? I don't exactly know how odds work, but I'm guessing higher number bad, lower number means you're not as profitable probably. So the Yellow Jackets odds to win the ACC are plus 50,000.
Nice.
So that means what? You put $1 down, you'll make 50,000.
I put 100
back.
I think so.
I want to take that bet. I want to make 50,000. That's a lot of fucking money for $1.
It's $100, but yeah.
Oh, I'll put 100 ducks down. Maybe I want to put 100. I put $10 down.
If you put 10, then you get.
I'm putting $5,000 if I put 10 down, right? That's like
50. I actually is it if you bet $100 you would get 50? Man, this is the blind.
See, it doesn't make quite a whole lot of sense.
It's not one. Yeah. That's right. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, our resident betting expert here to set us straight.
So a lot of things would have to go a certain.
So Tanner, your implied win probability.
Yeah.
For plus 50,000.
Yep. How do you read that?
0.2%.
0.2%?
You're just dividing 100 by 50.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like those odds. All right. Speaking of college football playoff, I just have the ESPN on right now, and the rankings are coming out, and so far we're not 25 through 15, so we'll see if we're in the top 14 teams here. I like our chances.
I think we're a little bit out, but we have to beat Georgia. Like, I don't know, if we beat Georgia, NC State, they're gonna do something with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'd have to beat Georgia by like 50.
Like absolutely just stop them.
Yeah.
But maybe a miracle universe that happens. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be insane? Like a lopsided victory over Georgia.
Crazier things have happened.
A boy can dream. A boy can dream.
This little yellow jacket wants to believe. Ooh.
Well,
someone else and someone else.
And someone else and someone else. Maybe we bid adieu for this podcast.